Are you running a little short on time, but you're feeling like you need to pause, take a second, give your lower back some love? All good. Today we're going to be doing a short 10-minute Yin Yoga sequence that will be focusing on releasing some lower back tension so that you can get back to being the badass babe that you are, feeling like you got your shit together because you were able to, 1, take over the world, and 2, take care of yourself. Let's get started.
Welcome to Yoga with Carolynne. In this channel, you will gain the tools, the knowledge, and the confidence to practice yoga, no matter your size, your age, or your ability to touch your toes.
Before we get started, I will introduce you to Nala. She's going to be joining us during today's practice. She's a pretty good yogi buddy. I will also mention that all of the poses that we're practicing today, I have made in-depth pose tutorials. So I would say if you haven't checked out those pose tutorials, definitely check those out and then make your way back to this yoga sequence. So we're going to get started on our backs. So make your way onto your back. So if when you make your way onto your back, right away you feel any sort of discomfort in the lower back, support your body in whatever way feels good. So the legs can be straight, or you can bring a bend to the legs, bring soles of the feet onto the mat and just kind of knock the feet together. You can bring a bolster underneath of your knees, whatever feels good. Bring your eyes to a close. Take a second here to check in, notice how you're feeling. Don't worry about anything that might have happened before this moment or anything that might be happening after. Bringing your hands onto your belly so that you can begin to connect with that sensation of the rise and fall of your breath, your rhythm of breath. And taking a nice big inhale. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. The eyes are closed, gently fluttering the eyes open. If the legs are straight, bringing a bend to the legs. And then bring the legs, the knees in towards the chest. Beginning to find some movement that feels really good. So while you find this movement, check in with how does your lower back feel here. And then coming back into center. You've got one hand on top of each knee. If that's not accessible for you, you've got one hand on the back of each thigh. Begin to rock along the spine, head to hips, so that you find yourself eventually seated upright. We're gonna come into the first shape, which is a seated forward fold. So bring your props into it here. Reminder that I do have a pose tutorial for this shape, so that if you want a little bit more of an in-depth explanation as to how to practice this pose really nicely, check that video out. So finding that length in the legs and bringing your support underneath of your hips and bring your props into it here. Taking an inhale up the length of the spine. And then on the exhale, leading with the heart, beginning to make your way into the shape. Supporting your forehead as feels comfortable. Supporting your chest as feels comfortable. Opening the palms up towards the sky. Falling into whatever shape, whatever variation, whatever modification works for you. Bringing the eyes to a close. And now, find your breath. There's this thing that happens in the Yin Yoga practice, and the reason as to why we hold these poses So that by breathing really intentionally and sending that breath towards where you feel the sensation, and the simple fact that we're holding these poses for extended periods of time, you've got the time to create that space. So you might feel that over time you are able to sink a little deeper into the shape, inching those props forward as you do so. Please take 3 more deep breaths here. Breathing into where you find that stretch. Once you have taken those last 3 deep breaths, moving the props out of the way, whatever props you have been using, pressing yourself up. Take a second to notice what you feel in the lower back before you rush on to the next shape. And you can find some sort of movement that feels good. Maybe you want to find some movement into the legs, or a nice counter stretch for that shape is to find the opposite shape with the spine, so you can bring the hands behind you and open the heart up towards the sky. And then releasing whatever shape, whatever movement you've been taking to release that forward fold. And make your way back onto your back. We will be coming into supported bridge pose, so you will want to have one of your blocks or your bolster nearby. So make your way onto your back. Bend into the legs, soles of the feet come onto the mat. Pressing into the soles of the feet, lift the hips up towards the sky and glide your block underneath of your hips. Finding, again, whatever variation, whatever modification works for you here, use your props to support your practice. Eyes come to a close, and you've got a couple different options for the hands here. So the arms can be alongside the body, palms up towards the sky. Or if you feel like you need a little bit more grounding, a little bit more focus, you can bring the palms onto the belly as you watch that rise and fall of the belly with each inhale and each exhale. There is sometimes the urge, once you come into the stillness, for the mind to begin to find some productivity, right? So the mind might begin to wander, think about what you have to get done after you're done this video. With as much kindness and compassion as you can, remind yourself that you showed up for yourself, for some reset, for a break. So come back to that rise and fall sensation of the inhales and the exhales of the breath. Taking 3 more deep breaths here. Once you have taken those last 3 deep breaths, pressing into the soles of the feet, lifting the hips up towards the sky, guide that block out of the way. Bring the hips back down onto the mat. Taking a second Notice what you feel in the lower back. And then you can release that shape by bringing the knees in towards the chest, rocking from side to side, and then extending the legs nice and long. Finding this nice neutral shape, palms up towards the sky. You are more than welcome to stay here as long as you need. Taking a nice big inhale. Exhale, side of the mouth. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope your lower back feels a little bit better and that you feel ready to tackle on the rest of your day or the rest of your week. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. From my heart to yours, and until next time, namaste.